Okay, picture this, a quiet, darkened room filled with dozens of screens. Each one is painting this incredibly complex picture of a world in constant motion. This is a Vessel Traffic Services, or VTS, control center. Basically, the nerve center for one of the busiest ports on the planet. And every single little blip of light you see on those screens, that's a massive ship, carrying cargo, crew, and a whole lot of responsibility. The room feels calm, but believe me, the stakes could not be any higher.
And then you hear it. A voice cuts right through the normal, routine radio chatter. It's a vessel, and they have a problem. Now, slight power reduction might not sound like a huge deal, right? But in a narrow channel, with tons of other ships around, it's the tiny spark that could ignite a massive catastrophe. How the operator on the other end of that line responds in the next few minutes, well, that's going to determine everything.
So that's what we're diving into today. We're pulling back the curtain on the hidden world of these guardians, the VTS operators, and the incredibly precise, standardized language they have to use to keep our oceans and our coastlines safe. It's a whole system designed for one thing: to get rid of any and all confusion when just one misunderstood word could be absolutely disastrous.
To really get a handle on this world, let's follow an operator. We'll just call her Anna. She is sitting right at the center of this massive web of activity. Her job is to watch every single vessel, to see problems before they even happen, and to communicate with total, absolute clarity to keep her port safe and running like clockwork.
But here's the thing, Anna can't just chat. I mean, you've got captains from dozens of different countries speaking who knows how many languages. There has to be a system, right? A universal rulebook that makes sure a distress call from a Korean tanker is understood perfectly by a Dutch VTS operator every single time.
So who actually makes these rules? Well, it really comes down to two key players. First, think of IALA. They're the ones who make sure that every buoy, every lighthouse, every visual aid at sea is speaking the same language, no matter where you are. And then you have the IMO, the International Maritime Organization. They set the operational guidelines. They write the actual how-to manual for VTS centers, just like Anna's. They provide the entire framework for everything she does.
And the absolute cornerstone of that framework is this: the SMCP, or Standard Marine Communication Phrases. This is the official language of the sea. It's basically a controlled version of English that's been stripped of all the confusing stuff. No idioms, no ambiguity. It's designed so that a phrase means the exact same thing whether you're in Singapore or Rotterdam. Honestly, this is Anna's single most important tool.
Now, having a universal language is one thing, but using it effectively, that's a whole different ballgame. And it all starts with a skill that's way more complicated than just hearing. It's about truly listening.
In the VTS world, they call this active listening. And believe me, it is anything but passive. It's a dynamic process of constant analysis. Anna isn't just hearing the words coming through her headset. She's decoding the entire situation, she's listening to the tone of the captain's voice, and she's trying to anticipate the next problem before it's even spoken.
Let's go back and break down that initial call. The vessel reports the problem, but look closely at Anna's response. She doesn't just say, okay, or roger that. No, she reads it back to him. I understand you are experiencing power reduction issues. That confirms she heard him correctly. Then she immediately asks for more information. That simple little exchange does two things. It confirms understanding, and it lets her take control of the situation.
Okay, but just when you think things are under control, it gets more complicated. Anna gets a position report from another vessel, but it doesn't match what her automatic system is showing her. There's a gap of 1.5 nautical miles. At sea, that is a huge margin of error. We're talking big enough to cause a major collision.
So who do you trust? The experienced captain on the bridge of his ship, or the multi-million-dollar tracking system? The safety of who knows how many vessels depends on Anna figuring this out, and figuring it out fast.
This is not a guessing game. Not at all. Anna immediately kicks off a verification process. She's cross-referencing the report with her radar data. She's checking for any kind of interference, like heavy rain, that could mess with her sensors. She gets right back on the radio to the vessel to confirm what they're seeing. It's like forensic work, but it has to be done in seconds.
All right, with the position now confirmed, all that uncertainty just melts away. Anna has a clear, accurate picture of what's happening out there. And now she can finally use the most powerful tools in her entire linguistic toolkit to manage the situation.
And this brings us to the absolute core of VTS language. To make sure there is zero, and I mean zero, confusion about what she means, Anna will start her transmission with one of 5 very specific words. They're called message markers. Their power is it's in their simplicity.
It's genius, really. If Anna says information, the captain knows it's just a fact. If she says warning, they know there's a hazard up ahead. Advice is a very strong suggestion, but ultimately the captain still has the final call. But instruction? That is a mandatory order. There is no room for debate. And of course, question makes it crystal clear she needs an answer. These 5 words? They're basically the traffic lights of the sea.
So, Anna's shift isn't going to last forever, but the watch over the port, that never, ever ends. So how on earth do you make sure that the next operator who sits in that chair has the exact same level of awareness that she does? You can't just say, hey, things are kind of busy, and head home.
It's all done through a highly structured shift handover. The incoming operator gets the full download, the status of every single piece of equipment, the exact situation for every vessel out there, any updates on things like dredging operations, and of course, the latest weather forecast. It is a complete and total transfer of awareness, making sure there's an unbroken chain of vigilance.
You know, what happens during Anna's 8-hour shift isn't just about one port on one day. It's so much bigger than that. It's a single, absolutely vital link in this massive global chain.
I mean, just think about it. Every product you own that wasn't made right down the street probably spent time on one of these ships navigating through a VTS area. This whole incredible, complex ballet of global commerce depends entirely on the calm, clear, and precise voices of thousands of people like Anna all around the world, all speaking this unique language of safety.
So, when you boil it all down, maritime safety is really built on these pillars. You've got the intense focus of active listening, the absolute clarity of a standardized language, the discipline of meticulous verification, and the non-stop continuity of seamless handovers. These aren't just procedures on a checklist. They are the invisible lifeline of our modern world.
And it really leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? We always hear about the disasters that happen at sea, but we never ever hear about the ones that don't. So how many potential disasters are averted every single day? Not by some dramatic action, but by a calm voice, a clear process, and the simple, awesome power of the right set of words?